Hello everyone, my name is Chuckles the Clown and welcome to my Big Machine Music City Grand Prix Indycar race review. So the Grand Prix was ran on an oval. I can't see how long the actual race was in miles, but okay. Colton Herta is your winner, with Pato coming in second, Newgarden third, Kirkwood fourth, McLaughlin fifth. There were 3 cars out due to contact, and I'll start with those. Felix Rosenquist has a suspension failure. He goes over the bump and it looks like really aggressively one time. He gets kind of high. Next time around, he goes over the bump again. I believe it was from the bump the second time, or it might have just been in the next turn, and his suspension just fails, and it sends him into the wall. The bump, hopefully they take care of the bump, because that bump is super aggressive and honestly really dangerous. Catherine Lake, I forget what happened with her. She was just driving, and then all of a sudden she was up into the wall. And sort of the same thing with Erickson. I think he was avoiding stuff. He went up and smacked the wall, and then he came back down onto the racing line. It was a really weird day. In championship contender at the time, Will Power, 20 laps in maybe, his belts just came loose, and that is unacceptable. Seatbelts should never come loose unless they are clicked off, because you're sitting in your car, that flies off. You can't make it into the pits before. Now you have nothing keeping you in the seat. He would go. I think the cup. Sorry, football's on. He would go 5 laps down because of this situation, and that's just unacceptable. Let's see. Rahal finishes 23rd, Simpson 22nd, Fittipaldi 21st, Rob 20th. Lundgaard 19th, Siegel 18th, Dixon 17th, Grosjean 16th, Rossi 15th, Rasmussen 14th, Harvey 13th, VK 12th. Renus VK had a really good day going, and then Ed Carpenter pulled one of their strategy moves, and that was bound to happen once they did it. And it's just every single time that Ed Carpenter wants to move them into the pits, it seems, or move into the pits, or put them on a different tire. It is the wrong strategy. It is a losing strategy, and that means tough breaks every single week for VK, and he's still finishing good. I believe 12th in the race, 13th in championship standings, maybe. Alex Palou finishes 11th in the race. Connor Daly 10th. Lil David Malukas 9th. After looking like he was going to win, it was really heartbreaking. Linus Lundqvist 8th. Marcus Ericsson 7th. Those two are fighting for a seat for next year, which is most likely going to go to Kiffin Simpson, who does not deserve it. I'm going to explain my point of view on this real quick, and there might be a video tomorrow explaining it, because I have recording sort of like a Twisted Toe thing of me and a bunch of IndyCar worshippers reacting to the IndyCar and NASCAR races, and so I'm going to edit through those and see what all is good. There will definitely be an IndyCar video, maybe a NASCAR one, or they might just be combined. But those two are fighting for a spot, and those two are really good, and either one could get that third Ganassi car. Then you look at the 5th Ganassi car, Kiffin Simpson. Yes, it was a learning curve. Marcus Armstrong had never raced on ovals, but he had a whole season of IndyCar road courses under his belt. Linus Lundqvist did a couple starts last year. Kevin Simpson didn't have that. And he wasn't used to being in that good of a car. The only testing he had ever done was in Ned Carpenter car. Before he started with Ganassi. But he is a backmarker in a top tier car. He doesn't run top 10. I think he's one of the few. I think he's the only Ganassi car to not get a top 10. Maybe not get a top 5. I don't know if Armstrong got one. I feel like he did. I'm not going to check it right now. Yeah. Santino Ferrucci, off the news of his signing, gets 6th. Scott McLaughlin, 5th. Sorry, it's so late. Oh, yeah. Kyle Kirkwood, 4th. Newgarden, 3rd. Pato, 2nd. Herta, 1st. I'll be doing a review of the championship for Indy Next and IndyCar maybe next week in the first week of the off season. Or I'll do one for Indy Next and then one next week for IndyCar. I just need to look, and I'm actually going to write a script. Probably not, actually. I'm just going to wing it like I do these. But yeah. And it's some stuff that I want changed for next year. Okay, wait. If I go to race. I just want to know the distance. I don't. So I cannot tell the difference. Hold on a minute, I'm gonna Google it. The IndyCar race was 266.6 miles today. For a finale, that is a little more than our 250 double headers that we get. And that's when we have 2 races in one weekend for 250 mile races. Now we're doing 16.6 miles more than that, only getting 1 race a weekend, and it's a finale. But we have alternate tires that could spice this up, but we're not going to use that. To me, it is ridiculous. You have the capability to make this really fun race, a really interesting race. Not a 500-mile race. I take it back. Unless you're able to increase the speed of the cars safely, and yes, you can't run the super speedway package because then they're braking in the corners. The only way you could run a super speedway package or make a different package for this track and other similar tracks that aren't quite super speedway but aren't quite short tracks, which is, it's different from Gateway and Milwaukee and Iowa. This is its own thing. This is a longer track. This is a different track. Iowa might be more similar to this, but this is still a lot more different from Iowa. This is a lot closer to Texas, in my opinion. With just the way that it is. It isn't quite as short as Iowa. It isn't... Yeah, that's really it. It's not as short as Iowa. And then, maybe with a new package you could introduce an intermediate package, basically. Have your super speedway package, which is your Indy. Or if you don't want it to be the Indy package, have an Indy package. Indy Pocono, whatever short or whatever big flat oval you can run on, that's what you'll run. Then you have your super speedway, your intermediate, your short track, your road course. But no, we're never going to get a new car. Also, run the finale at night. Next year, this will be during Labor Day weekend. Run the finale at night. Or move the finale, or in the coming years, make the finale the Milwaukee Mile. Then IndyCar will have their Super Bowl. The Milwaukee Mile in a couple years Heck, even next year could make its way back to being a crown jewel, to being a Mount Rushmore of the sport. You have Long Beach. You have Indy 500, obviously. Is Milwaukee going to be up there? What else is up there? St. Petersburg? St. Petersburg might be up there. Toronto, Indy Road Course. So 3 good examples that can be up there. And there's a good chance those are the 3 contenders. Along with now, so Milwaukee, 4 contenders for 2 spots. What are the other 2 crown jewel sports? What does IndyCar need to market? Fox is taking over. Fox loves the idea of crown jewel sports. Fox loves the crown jewels. They love the Daytona 500. They love the Coke 600. They love the Indy 500 already. They haven't even done one yet. That is why they wanted IndyCar. Most part for the 500. Next year they have the Super Bowl, crown jewel of all sports. They have the Super Bowl, Daytona 500, and Indy 500. Those are some of the biggest American sporting events. And for 2 of those, really, Indy 500 and Super Bowl, world sports. Some of the biggest moments. And if IndyCar's like, well, all of our stuff's on Fox, let's market these 4 or these 3 tracks. Indy Road Course is going to market itself because it's Indy. And I'm going off into a separate rant here, but I don't care because it's coming to me now, and this is when I need to say it. Indy Road Course will market itself because it is at Indy. That is probably not going to be what the crown jewel is. 2 crown jewel tracks back to back, it wouldn't be. If there were going to make a crown jewel Indy event, and honestly, Indy Road Course could easily have a second race, and I think it should be in August. Now, that would probably never happen. August or July, preferably August, and have it run the week that the one August 500 was. Have it start in like 3 years, 2 years. And then St. Petersburg, it is the season opener. It could be a crown jewel. It is big. You start off with 2 of the biggest races in the sport. Where St. Petersburg, everyone knows that track. That track has become iconic. That track can make or break your season, as we saw this year with Newgarden. Yeah, he still won the 500, but he won at St. Pete. He had all the momentum. The second it was announced that he was disqualified, he went from riding high at the top of the world to falling off the edge of a cliff. That track makes or breaks your year. Milwaukee has the history, has the product, and has just the feel of greatness to it. So either make Nashville a better race, a more entertaining race, not full-on pack racing, but I'm okay with pretty damn close to it, or move us to Milwaukee, or an entertaining finale. Move the finale around too. I don't want it to be like NASCAR where they're gonna always be at Phoenix, it seems, or always at Homestead, Miami. It should move. Go back to Phoenix too. Go back to Homestead as well. Go back to these other sports. Yeah, I'm in closing on 15 minutes, and for those of you that heard out my point, thank you, and I hope that you agree. Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, NASCAR video will be out on some point Monday or Tuesday, talking about how I felt about the race. And reaction videos will be out when I'm done editing them, because it's going to be a lot of time to edit out a lot of stuff, because it's like 3-4 hours of just straight about racing. Yeah. Thank y'all, and goodbye.